Let's stay in that city of Tshwane. The ANC will be marching this morning over what they say is a lack of service delivery under the Democratic Alliance-led coalition. The governing party lost the metro back in 2016 during the local government elections and has since been trying to regain power through a coalition with smaller parties. Newzroom Afrika's Ziyanda Ngcobo is in Marabastad this morning, where that march is expected to kick off. Ziyanda, good morning to you. So, are ANC marchers or protesters also going to carrying themselves in a manner that is not going to disrupt business? Because that is what the ANC leadership at government level is demanding of the EFF on Monday. Or are they applying double standards here?
Well, we'll have to see, and I've got somebody who's going to respond to that in the form of one Mahlengi Mutsiri. And the question from Xolim Gambi here is that the people who will be marching here under the banner of Buya Tshwane, will they be conducting themselves in an orderly fashion that won't disrupt businesses in the same way that your ANC deployees have called upon the EFF to do on Monday?
Well, I think that the ANC is on record as having said that this march is a peaceful march. It's a march that is aiming to shine a spotlight on the failures, governance failures in the city of Tshwane, flagged by the Auditor General, and this is something that people should be interested to follow. Flagged by this Auditor General in respect of a lot of irregular, wasteful, fruitless expenditure, material misstatements in the report by the city of Tshwane to the Auditor General, as well as, of course, this is also the one metropolitan municipality that has been downgraded by the Moody's Credit Rating Agency. In terms of the peacefulness of the march, we are able to assure that, because that is a very clear message from the ANC. We don't want to see what others are doing, propagating, intimidating citizens, and that is not the language or the policy of the ANC. So we are quite comfortable that the march is going to run as properly conducted as it should be.
You're taking the march to the Tshwane Council, where today there's going to be the election of a mayor. Well, hopefully, if things go according to plan, nothing goes according to plan in this city. But are you fielding a candidate then, seeing that basically some could argue that Tshwane is up for grabs for anyone?
It is up for grabs for anyone. We don't want to comment on what is going to be going on council today, because our focus is on the general election. We want the people of Tshwane to vote the ANC back into power, but it must be by democratic means, by, we enjoy the electoral support of the people of Tshwane following what they have now experienced under the DA-led coalition administration.
Let's reflect then on what led to the ANC even losing Tshwane in 2016. There were those riots that came about after the announcement of Thoko Didiza as a possible mayoral candidate. And at that time, the issue was around service delivery, and the president has spoken about this being the year of service delivery. However, at a municipal level, we're still seeing, the ANC struggling in terms of when citizens speak about how councillors conduct themselves, when you speak about maladministration. What lessons have you learned since that time?
Several lessons, and I think the ANC has been the only party that has actually been frank enough about its weaknesses. This is the one thing that stands out about the African National Congress. So we're not really, even all the conversations I've been having with yourselves, colleagues, as the new spokesperson, been very candid about the ANC's weaknesses and the lessons learned. But back to Tshwane. Since 2019 and the other successive elections, the two successive elections, the things have gotten worse. Free Wi-Fi that enabled young people to go study at university without having to worry about, the bandwidth, learners and many other people that need access to connectivity has been scrapped. The indigent policy that enabled the poorest of the poor in this part of South Africa has been scrapped. you can go on and on and on, apart from the governance failures that I spoke about. So our focus today, shining the spotlight on all of those things, because the DA says where we govern properly. And Tshwane is nothing like a city that is being governed properly.
Very quickly, very, very quickly. Has this action perhaps precipitated by the national shutdown that the EFF is having on Monday?
Not at all. We are a liberation movement and we are a governing party. We have our own programs, and this comes out of many of the things we're going to be doing going forward, stemming out of the 55th National Conference of the ANC. We don't follow. We set the pace.
All right, setting the pace there is one ANC spokesperson, Mahlengi Motiri. Well, lots of marching, I would say, this week. Monday it was the DA outside Brian Tyrion. At the weekend it was the president. It's the EFF at pains to say that there'll be no violence during their shutdown. It's Buya Tshwane today, and Monday, of course, it's that national shutdown, which has seen some, some very hard or strong language, I should say, coming from government employees, from the President of the Republic himself, speaking about talks of insurrection, the Defense Minister speaking about the SANDF being on standby. So a lot happening on the political landscape in South Africa, Xoli.
Well, thank you very much. You can't help but laugh at those comments. The ANC sets the pace.